in the ring, feel the adrenaline rush, throwing fists and kicks, the pain we can't hush. And then they find us, we're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand, train blows, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live. Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D Rose.
And what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt, and D Rose is on that side of your screen. What a beautiful man he is. What a beautiful man D Rose is. Look at him, just shining, glistening. Can't wait for him to smile. Look at them teeth. Look at him this week. D Rose is smiling, and you should be, because you ain't got to eat no beans like this dude. I didn't even bet on the Cody Brundage fight, and he still ends up burning me. He still finds a way to screw me over, dude. I swore him off betting last time he fought, and you know it was the deciding factor for the pick champ this week. So I get to eat some beans this week. What's going on, y'all? Appreciate y'all stopping by this week. Hope y'all are all having a fantastic Wednesday. Not gonna lie, dude, my energy isn't as high as it normally is, so I try to bring a little extra oomph right now. I've been working hard on the house, dude. Was in my attic earlier trying to see what was going on with my air conditioner, and I feel Dave's pain because it's hot up there, dude. It's hot up there. How have you been over this past week, my guy?
No, things have been great over here. Business has been great, as normal. Car sales have been pretty good so far, so can't complain with that. The only thing, we just been getting a buttload of rain. So when I walk up to my yard, I'm going to have to start doing like high steps to start walking through my grass until I get the opportunity to maybe mow it. Of course, I work every day until Sunday, so by then it's going to look like a national forest out here. So I'm other than freaking out about that, I'm all right. But that's how I know that I'm getting old and I'm like that dad at that point. And is that it's like when I'm sitting here like pressed and stressed about not being able to mow my grass, I've made it to that point in my life where I'm that type of dad now.
Yeah, man. Hey, at least you have some grass to mow. Let's just put it like that, man. Hope y'all are all doing well in the chat. I'm glad D Rose is doing well. Let's get into the chat real quick. We got Antoine in here. What's up, boys? Hope y'all are having a blessed week so far. How's the weather been y'all's region of the world? Yeah, as D Rose said, it's been raining. It's been raining my way too. It's been scheduled to rain a lot and then not end up raining and just be real hot. So been trying to get some stuff done on the outside of my house, painting my front door and my trim, just trying to get little things ready here and there, getting the place ready to sell. In my opinion, one of the greatest middleweight championships of all time on paper. It could be a good one this weekend, Antoine. And Antoine, let us know. Doing my own podcast. I'll pull up on you boys later and let us know what his podcast name is. And then let's go, boys. Let's go. I don't think I ever asked you football team is, Matt. I know D Rose is the Cowboys. Are you a Commanders fan? I don't think I have a team, Antoine. At one point I was a Falcons fan, but I just kind of started getting back into football over these past couple of years. So I don't think I have to commit to a team. I will not be forced to commit to a team because I end up like this guy over here, and he's never happy about his football team.
That is true. There was a point a couple years ago when they had the NFL had Rob Lowe as a spokesperson, and I can't remember what game it was, but it was one of the opening games. They had Rob Lowe sitting in the crowd with just a hat that had NFL on it. Like that's you. You're just a fan of the game. You just have a hat that says NFL.
Let's go football.
You support everybody. You just support good football.
Go football. Punts. Dave let us know Fluffy is that dude. Montana Chi, I'll be at the fights. That's what's up, Montana. Finally, the UFC has come back to Chicago. That's what's going on, man. Hope you enjoy the fights this weekend. Austin let us know it's being time indeed. Matt wearing a D Rose jersey. D Rose, what do you think the jersey is? Or do you know what it is?
I got an educated guess, but Dennis Rodman?
It is indeed Dennis Rodman, number 91, Chicago Bulls, dude. He was my favorite player growing up, dude. Like everyone was like Michael Jordan. Dennis Rodman fascinated me, like seeing him with the crazy hair on the floor when I was a kid, dude. But we didn't really get too much of, the prime Jordan years because, we were, I was born in 92. You were born in fucking 93. So we were still, kids at that point. But I do remember Dennis Rodman with like the leopard hair and like the purple hair. I always thought he was so cool, dude. And then, as an adult now, looking back on what he has accomplished, my opinion has not changed. What a guy, man. What a fascinating character.
If there's anything, the man knows how to have fun. And who can shame somebody for that?
Yeah, that face that could sell Kia to a blonde dude. D Rose, indeed. I have not seen the red jersey. Nope. D-Rose put the kids to work. Yeah, D-Rose. I'm like, all right, Abby.
Yeah. I was like, my kids. You know that ain't. Yeah, you know that. Yeah.
You're like, she would drive that shit down the street. D-Rose talking about grass and 401ks. That's how you know he was getting old. Yep. Kim Jong-un also loves Dennis Rodman. Indeed. All right, Deros. With that being said, let's get into the show, man. Let's get in the show. We have our UFC Vegas 109 recap. So I'm not going to pretend like this past weekend was a good fight card, man, because the majority of the fights on the card were absolute ass. But
the fight card last week was much better.
Yeah, much dude. Better. And that's sad to say because it's like that one was pretty bad too. It's like, but all of the pain has come to an end because this weekend, dude, I cannot wait for the fights this weekend, man. I'm so excited. So this past weekend, Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, dude. And I wish I had the picture pulled up, but there's a picture of Fluffy getting punched mid-fight with him just smiling. And I'm like, man, that is Fluffy right there, dude, because it's like, every time he gets hit, that's his reaction. Like, all right, cool. Is that all you got? Sometimes he'll throw up the piece. Sometimes he'll, stick out his tongue. He was just smiling at that one, dude. But he cooks Roman Dolidze, dude. Submits him 2 minutes and 45 seconds into round number 4, man. And I don't want to say I called it, but last week on the podcast, I went Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, round 4 submission. And your response was, oh, you think he's going to finish him? I'm like, I think so, man. And sure enough, dude, round 4 sub, Fluffy Hernandez, dude. At the end of round 1, dude, Roman Dolidze looked like he had seen a ghost. Like, it was almost like he went in there with the game plan. I've been fucking saying this to you for the past 3 or 4 days now. He went in there with the game plan of, I'm going to leg lock this guy in the first round. And if I don't, well, I don't have a game plan. That's what it seemed like his game plan was, dude, because he went in there, pulled guard in the first, like right away, you know, tried for him an RA roll, and it was like, you like that, huh? And then didn't do shit else outside of that. Like, that's the only thing that Roman Dolidze did that entire fight, besides get his ass beat, dude. Like, Fluffy showed no mercy, drug him across the cage at the in the middle of the fourth round with the choke. But at that point, dude, it was just, how does he want to finish Roman Dolidze? Because Roman was cooked, and it was all accredited to the game plan of Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. What's your thoughts on the main event this past weekend, man?
Yeah, man, that was just a masterclass performance from Fluffy. You know, for him to be able to go in there and you know, obviously we both picked Fluffy. You did pick him by finish. I picked him by decision. I thought that the fight could have went maybe to a lesser extent, something like that. I thought Fluffy would be able to maybe win the scrambles more, kind of similar to like a Brendan Allen fight. I thought he might not blow people away, but he would do enough, maybe like a 49-46, 50-45 type win. Man, I did not expect the domination in the way that Fluffy was able to go in there. And there was no aspect in the game in which Roman Dolidze was able to have anything. I mean, every single time that they would engage, Dominic Cruz was horrible on the broadcast, by the way, the other day, as he has been.
The other day? What do you mean? He's always terrible on the broadcast.
Yeah, no, he's gotten even worse as of late. But I will say that he made a great point when DC kept mentioning that how Fluffy was getting the takedown so easy. Dude, Roman was just falling because he wanted to take a break. Like, he was just falling down just because he was like, all right, dude, if I could just lay on my back for a second, I'll be able to breathe. I'll be able to kind of, you know, gather myself. And then as soon as he gets on his back, Fluffy's like, nope, stand up.
Yeah.
Like, you could just see, like, he was just distraught, having to, you know, get back up as soon as he was able to get some sort of rest, because Fluffy did not let him rest whatsoever, dude. And yeah, I was with you. You know, you would mention you thought halfway through the first round that you know, Roman was basically like, hey, I'm cooked. I was like, man, I really think that I heard Roman make comments in an interview last week where he was kind of like not super excited about the fight, how Fluffy was like a good fighter, but not somebody who he was necessarily looking after and stuff like that. So honestly, I really think he overlooked Fluffy's style and thinking that because Roman is technically the bigger guy. I thought that he was going to think that he was a stronger guy, and that was not necessarily the case, dude. Fluffy went in there and dominated on the feet. He dominated on the ground, got the big brother finish. And, you know, we both had even mentioned last week that, you know, for Fluffy to be able to get into the title talk, he was going to have to make a statement. That was the type of statement to get him into the title conversation.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like, no, I have nothing to, you know, to disagree with you on at all, dude. I agree with everything you said. I do have one question, though. Who has better cardio, Fluffy or Merab?
Man, so Fluffy has better finishing instincts, I would say, than Merab, but Merab is I guess we've just seen Merab do it more over the 5-round pace, but man, I mean, in terms of who are the guys, because we've heard like commentators say all the time, oh, they weaponize their cardio, but not really. Those are the two guys who absolutely weaponize their cardio. Like, that is the walking definition of weaponizing your cardio, because they just end up just putting a pace on you. Again, Fluffy's not giving Roman any time to rest at all during the fight. Like, if he tries to get on his back, he's making him stand up. As soon as he stands up, he's throwing 4 or 5 punches, elbows. Then he's going in for a takedown, getting the back, going for ground and pound, going for chokes. Like, he just constantly has you defending something, and there's just no break. And, you know, Merab obviously does the same thing. But, man, their styles are just obviously they're not replicable like a lot of styles can. But, dude, if there's a blueprint you want to try to go after to win fights, that's the type of style you want to try to go after. Damn the power, damn the submissions. If you could just get a gas tank, you're good, because everything else will come.
Yeah, man. All right, let's get through the rest of this card real quick. Steve Erced defeats Ode Osborne via decision. I personally thought Ode Osborne won that fight, dude. Ode Osborne tends to get these bad decisions, man. Yasmin Lucindo beats Angie Hill. No surprise there. Andre Feely defeats C-Rod, dude, and that's why this past week I was like, I didn't want to pick C-Rod because he was not fighting an undefeated prospect. That's the only time I want to pick C-Rod, dude. Because every time he fights someone that's not an undefeated prospect, he loses, man. And it happened again this weekend. John Matsumoto defeats Miles Johns. I saw a lot of people upset on this decision. I thought it was a good decision. Miles Johns probably looked the best he's ever looked, but I still thought John Matsumoto won that fight, though. Chris Duncan knocks out Eric Anders in the first round. Busted a bunch of my parlays because I didn't expect CLD to do anything. So I expected that one to go over, at least starting round 2. In the prelims, Julius Walker defeats Rafael Sequeira, or Jailton Almeida's training partner that has been an ass over his past 2 fights, but actually showed up to fight this past weekend, man. Kind of crazy to see. Elijah Smith, fellow car salesman, we'll talk about that in the news section, gets the first round knockout over Tashomi Kazama. Jocelyn Edwards knocks out the zombie girl, Priscilla Cachoeira. Shout out Google for still refusing to put a picture of Priscilla Cachoeira here, dude. Like, not even a name, dude. She's just fighting. She's just fighting empty record. Like,
That's
Google
crazy.
refuses to put her picture up there, but she knocked out Priscilla Cachoeira. And then our fisting of the week, D-Rose, was Urosh managed to knock out Gilbert Urbina, and man, did he do so. He did with absolute violence. He fisted Gilbert Urbina very, very bad. Let's just leave it like that. Our
After he
fisting of the
almost
week.
got fisted.
Yeah.
He
Our
almost got
fisting of the week, Cassius. Yeah. Gabby Fernandez ruins everyone's bets and defeats Julia Stolyarenko via decision. I think D-Rose actually picked that, by the way. And the only fight of the night that me and D-Rose picked different on was the first one. We had Eric McConaughey taking on Cody Brundage. And D-Rose, I know the outcome of the fight was Eric McConaughey via decision, dude. Did you watch that fight?
So I will say I came in at the start of the second round.
Okay, in that case, did you think Eric McConaughey won any part of that fight?
I thought he won the third round.
Okay.
I thought he won the third round. I didn't watch the first. I did hear, Cruz and DC were both saying, hey, that first round was kind of a toss-up. And then I guess there was a moment where, McConaughey, I mean, it looked like Brundage was kind of like off balance, but I guess McConaughey got like the knockdown, it looked like in the judges' eyes. So I thought that was because I ended up going back and watching the first round. And I guess that's what sealed the first round for him. But I mean, either way, I knew it'd be a dork fight, and it lived up to it.
Yeah, man. I didn't bet on it, but it still burned me because I did pick Cody Brundage, and I personally thought that he won that fight at the end of it. I guess you can make a case for McConaughey, but at the same time, it's like, what are we really doing here? I can't believe that was the only fight that we picked different on, D-Rose. Could have been a couple other ones, but I believe you went, what? How many fights were this past weekend? 12? So you went, 11 of 12 this past weekend? Yeah. Did you make any money this past weekend?
What's that?
Did you make any money this past weekend, D-Rose?
Just what I sent you the other day. Again, I didn't go heavy this weekend. I just wanted to just build a little bit for the account for this coming up weekend, so I could try to cash in a little bit. So,
all right.
I didn't go too crazy this past weekend.
All right. So, with that being said, let's get into the Eat the Bean section, unless you got anything you want to talk about from the card this past weekend.
Elijah Smith, hell of a slam KO, dude. That was absolutely brutal. Some people were saying that should be illegal now. I don't know.
Dude, hold on. That can't be illegal. Like, Kazama was holding on with both arms and both legs. Like,
yeah. Well, they're saying that if
it's the Rose Namajunas shit, let go. If you let go, you're falling off. Like, right. You're holding on.
No, I do understand, but I guess they're saying, well, if a strike to the back of the head is going to be considered illegal, why is why is slamming somebody on the back of their head considered legal? So I'm not gonna argue too much on it, but that was a hell of a slam. I mean, Urseg, that was a little bit shaky, man, because
I didn't think he won.
I thought he snuck by in the second because he ended up getting the top control there at the end of the second round when the round otherwise was pretty close. And I think, I think it's kind of that thing we talk about it all the time. The last thing in the round is kind of what the judge remembers. So I think that's what was able to really kind of seal it for him. Good win for him, but I don't know if he's ever going to get back to that type of like contention again. And yeah. Yours Medic, hell of a knockout. Again, almost got fisted, but turned it around. So good performance from him as well. And that's about it for me.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the chat for just a second. Speaking of fast, let's talk about Contender Series last night. Were you able to watch Contender Series last night, D-Rose?
Yes. I think I don't know if I can't remember if you had heard me when I said it earlier, but yeah, rather cheeks. So yeah, Dave was spot on.
Yeah. But on a good note, there is one fight that happened last night on the Contender Series. Was his name Chimaev, dude, trains with Hamzat. The footage that I saw on him previously, dude, he's like once he gets his range, and you saw it in the fight, he just unloads, dude. All disrespect, and he'll like taunt you. It didn't really happen on the fight like fucking last night, but he'll like hurt you and then like kind of like fucking Nate Diaz, like fucking point at you like, I got you there, and like he's this lethal striker. And also, he said he wanted to fight. He's got to fight, D-Rose, this Saturday against the CFFC welterweight champion. So the dude's going to be going up a weight class. So I can only assume Chimaev is just going to smoke this dude in the first round. So, get your funds ready. Feel free to bet your house on Chimaev round one knockout this weekend.
Man, that's crazy. I didn't know the guy that he was fighting. So yeah, they're kind of setting him up a little bit too. But yeah, he was the only really bright spot in the whole show last night. And that was a hell of a finish. That kind of rounded off Teep to the body, kind of stabbed him with the toes there. It was beautiful. And that dude striking looked crisp. So yeah, it'll be dope to see him have another good performance this weekend.
And do you guys think Fluffy should fight Whitaker or RDR? They're also flying him to Chicago to be the backup. I would rather see him fight RDR. Yeah, I would rather the RDR fight because I just don't want to see Rob get beat up no more, man. Be honest.
Yeah, well, that and it's kind of like people ask if Fluffy should fight Izzy, as well, but. I would say at this point, guys like that, I don't know what that's going to do for Fluffy just because the type of statement that Fluffy made. I think he's at the point now where, Nasruddin Imavov is fighting in a number one contender fight after knocking out Ezra Adesanya. So that it's not guaranteed just because you beat that type of person that you're going to get a title shot. I understand the notoriety and stuff, but I just think in terms of what's the best fight to make, it's got to be RDR and Fluffy for the number one contender, just like how Nasruddin and Kaio is fighting out now. RDR versus Fluffy for the number one contender. Sign me up for that, dude. I'm all in on that.
Yeah, man, sounds good. And seeing you're wearing a Bulls jersey, did you watch Derek Rose, man, like on TV back then? When was that, D-Rose? Like, what was it, 2011 to like 13, 14 area? I think that's the time when I was like in the Navy. So I think I probably missed the whole D-Rose Bulls era because from probably like 2011 to 2017, man, I honestly didn't watch a whole lot of sports outside of the UFC because I was just able to go back and watch the fights opposed. Fucking going back and fucking trying to watch a whole game, dude. It's kind of shitty, dude, because you already know the outcome. It's like you're not really I don't want to watch an old game, So I kind of missed that entire Bulls era. But when did I see him? I saw him on Atlanta, right? Because he went to Atlanta after that. Yeah?
Nah, like Minnesota.
Oh yeah. Where did he go after? I could have swore he was on the Hawks for a little bit. No,
but
I don't know.
I almost said OKC. I remember Minnesota.
No.
And then New York.
Yeah, I saw him in. Yeah, I saw him in like New York. I don't know, dude. I can say that I probably wasn't the biggest NBA fan back then. Minnesota and New York. That's what it was. All right. United Center is retiring his jersey this year. Can't wait to watch the ceremony. All right. So, with that being said, I'm going to eat some beans. Our only different fight this past weekend was Cody Brundage versus, that's the one. Dude, I still have one that ain't even opened yet. They ain't stuck together because you hear them rolling around in there.
The one time Cody Brundage comes through for me. The one time.
I feel like, shit, I might even bet him next time.
Hey, don't press your luck there, buddy.
All right, let me get it.
As Lee Corso would say. We
got the non-sponsored Family Dollar bag today. Not sponsored, you know. Let's see what we got.
But the phone lines are open.
The phone lines are open. If Family Dollar does want to sponsor, just let us know. We can start you off with this sick song.
Bean clock.
Hate the white ones, dude, because it could be. I see blue on it. Dirty dishwater or birthday cake, dude. I had hot chicken for dinner. It's called Hangry Joe's hot chicken. It's delicious, and I don't want to throw it up right now, dude.
Dirty dishwater
or birthday cake. Oh, I know it's gonna be bad, man. Dude, it tastes like soap.
See, it makes it scream. Yeah, that dishwater, man, that one.
Dude, it tastes like fucking soap.
Yeah.
Like dirty soap, if that even makes sense.
Dude, dishwater for me, it's definitely that is one thing I'm actually glad about this new box. It doesn't have that flavor in there now. It's definitely top.
God, I need a blue one now. Come on. Oh, God. Dude, this is like two terrible ones in a row, man. Dead fish, strawberry banana smoothie.
It's the baby spot.
Damn, dude. Fuck you, Cody Brundage. I blame you for this.
CB came through for me.
I have to get this over with so I can get this dishwater taste out of my mouth, but I don't want it to be dead fish either.
Eat the dead fish. Fulfill your wish. Dead fish, fulfill your wish. Have you thrown one chicken? Now I'm
just pissed off, dude. Dude, my eyes are watering, dude. Get the worst fucking taste in my mouth, damn.
And it don't stop. Cody Brundage.
I need a blue bean. I'm eating a free blue bean and hoping it's toothpaste. Thank goodness it's toothpaste, dude. Dude.
It's bad you got to go back in there for
dude, that is the worst. That combination, dude, makes me never want to do this again, dude. Dirty dishwater followed by dead fish, man. What did I do to deserve that?
Can you imagine
Cody Brundage? That's all?
Can you imagine taking, like, you get some fish, you know, back in the day, you used to crush Long John Silver's. Go get a thing of fish, take it home, drop it in the sink, dishwater for the last 3 days, and you pick that bitch up and you just took a bite. That's exactly what you just did.
Dude, why do I get the worst one?
Nah. Nah, I definitely, dude. I get booger so much, dude. Like I've never gotten pear. Like
Pear's
you
good.
can at least tell me what it
Pear's
tastes
good.
like. I've never been able to tell you that because every time I grab green, it's that crunchy, disgusting BS.
Well, at least that's over with. All right, little hot chicken gonna suck for the second time. Thankfully, I didn't throw up any of my hot chicken. I just gagged and spit. So I'm okay. I'm okay.
Save the day.
Yeah, D-Rose got to be fucking with a tampered box. The pull rates ain't adding up. That's what I'm saying, man. And see, money, stop wasting good meals on bean night. I forget about it. Like I'll be eating dinner. I'm like, fuck, I got the podcast tonight. Damn, I got beans this week. I just get all pissed off. What's the undisputed worst bean, dude? Dirty dishwater's up there, man. Dirty dishwater, old bandage, barf actually tastes like throw up, so I can't really taste the difference when I do throw up. So, that one's pretty spot on.
The
Dead
worst
fish
for me
is bad.
The worst for me is definitely booger. That like for sure.
Dude, there for like a few weeks, dude, I was getting old bandage after old bandage, like 3-4 weeks in a row, dude. I'm like, I don't know if I've had a pomegranate bean.
Yeah.
Like that. I still don't know if I've had a pomegranate bean. Every time it's a red bean, that's old bandage.
Now that is when, every time you've drawn red, you've gotten old bandage. Every time I've drawn green, I've gotten booger. It's like, it's pretty consistent. But pomegranate is the one that I might have to rank that as my favorite one out of all of them, man. That one, it's really good.
I like the blue one. The blue one's my favorite because I get the blue one. I'm like, all right, at worst it'll be toothpaste or it could be blueberry. I like to get the blue bean. And Dave says Alien Perez's beans good. He imagines. Shout out Dave. Dave helped me out earlier, D-Rose. I'll let you know I'm having some AC problems, and I sent a picture to Dave. I'm like, Dave, what's going on? And he kind of like walked me through the things that could be wrong. Probably saved me like $80 to $100 calling someone out here just to tell me what was wrong with it.
Hell yeah.
At least I know, and I tried to fix it a little bit. And if it don't work, and then I'll call someone out to actually get it fixed. But hopefully Dave helped me out a little bit. I was up there, taped off my hose, and was down there just sucking on the bottom of it, trying to get all the extra water to come out. I'm just kidding. Like a shot vac hooked up to it, like fucking sucking all the, trying to get it to unclog because I think my AC is leaking a little bit. So trying to get that taken care of. But at least the drain's clear, at least. Yeah, I was down there sucking on it for a few minutes. I was like, all right, and then nothing else was coming out of this. I don't taste nothing else. So should be good to go. All right, D-Rose. So let's get into the next portion of the show, our UFC news and fight announcements section this weekend. I'll go ahead and just kind of pick up, I guess, where we left off at. Did we talk about this last week? Let me share my screen. I know me and you were talking about it, but I don't know if we talked about it here. The UFC Rio October 11th lightweight main event between Fiziev and Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, I was almost a little hesitant to wonder. We did not talk about this last week. We talked, like you said, we talked about it personally, but not on the pod last week. But yeah, I almost thought at first, I was like, is this even like real? Is it, because that's why I sent it to you, but I was almost kind of hesitant to believe it for a second. But yeah, after hearing Charles Oliveira come out and kind of confirm it through interviews and stuff, yeah, the fight's really happening. He wants to headline in Brazil, and if I'm being honest, I'm surprised that he was able to get clearance to fight as soon, after that knockout as it is. What is it, about 4 months from the time that the Ilya fight was till this fight happened? So, I honestly would not be surprised if something wasn't happening where Charles couldn't make the fight. Maybe I don't know.
Horse racing.
Yeah, I don't want to doubt Charles in any sense. I'm sure he's taking the fight because he feels like he'd be ready, but who knows medically where he's at after suffering a brutal KO like that, man. So, but if he's feeling good, I mean, it's still a good fight, and for Zeev, he's obviously got that good bounce back win against Bahamondes, and kind of getting thrown right back into the fire. So it's a good matchup. I'm just curious to see where Charles is at after that Ilya KO.
I'm curious as to what the game plan was, because I thought he said he was going to go down to 145. Yeah.
I know he's kind of he's thrown that idea out there, but I mean, I'm sure at this point in his career, he's a little bit, and not that he's old, but what is he, like 31, 32-ish, something like that?
Yeah,
so,
probably 32 or 33. That's my guess.
Yeah. So I know he's not the youngest, and I mean, if he's getting a chance to fight a former champ, maybe the path to the title is a little bit quicker here up at 155.
32. Yep.
And at least he's a little more established,
He was actually born pretty close to your birthday, D-Rose, March 5th, 1993.
Oh, nice. Nice. So yeah, we're the same age, 32. So that's why I knew. Yeah, I knew he was around that, around that age. So, the older they get, the harder the weight cuts get. So I'm sure 155 is just probably easier for him at this point.
Forcing Charles to come back? I don't think so. I think they have enough Brazilian fighters to headline. There's a lot of.
It's a fight night. It's not like it's. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's like a pay-per-view or anything like that. Like, I mean, hell, I remember the days where they used to put the flyweight title fight on, main
on
TV.
the fight nights.
Yeah. You used to put that on like main TV. So I'm not going to say they're going to do that with Pantoja, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Look, there it is, 105 days difference. That's what it'll be.
Yeah. Well, and you got to think too, those guys train hard. And what's he probably going to do? Probably about a 6-week camp or so. At the least, some guys do 8 to 12 weeks, 8, 10, 12 weeks, just depending. So as hard as those shoot the box guys train, it's not even really going to be 105 days.
Yeah. So this is the fight from The Ultimate Fighter. The flyweight is going to be Alibi Idris versus Joseph Morales. Joseph Morales was previously in the UFC. They actually cut him when they did, the whole cutting all the flyweights. Like they cut fucking Brandon Moreno, they cut Sergio Pettis, they cut fucking Joseph Morales, and he was like he was like 1-1. He had like a performance of the night bonus, and then they were getting rid of the flyweight, so they just cut him. And then on the other hand here we have Alibi Idris on the left side. He is basically Shavkat Rakhmonov in flyweight form, dude. Lethal striker, got a solid ground game too. So it's going to be kind of a UFC vet versus a UFC newcomer for the Ultimate Fighter finale here. I have to go Alibi Idris, kind of a little preview as to going into our picks section, just because the dude, he doesn't seem to have any flaws, in my opinion. As where Joseph Morales, I don't even think he won the fight to get to the finale here. I thought the Mexican kid beat him personally. Yeah, so that's something to look forward to. I guess I'll ask you who you're going to pick when it's time to pick for the fights this upcoming weekend. Apparently, we have Oban Elliott fight news coming soon. Who do you think Oban Elliott returns against, D-Rose? And as well as Sean Brady.
I don't know. That's a tough call. But he's probably going to get a little bit of a step back, right? Because he kind of got dominated in his last fight after being a 4-1, 5-1 favorite. So
yeah,
I can't imagine he's going to be taking a leap forward.
Yeah, and Sean Brady looks like he has fight news coming as well.
He was calling for, which I don't know if it's going to happen, but it would be awesome, was him versus Shavkat on the MSG card with Islam versus JDM. I think that would be real dope, because I think that'd be a badass fight. And you can make it like a 5-round co-main too. I mean, that'd be dope.
And then probably the biggest news over the past week, man. No more pay-per-views after this year, my guy. I cannot wait. Like, that's been $80 or $160 a month, depending on if there's 2 pay-per-views or not, because we're here for the channel, we're live streaming. I can't use my computer to, stream the fights if I'm also live streaming here on the channel, because the thing will probably blow up if I'm going to be honest. So every pay-per-view, we're buying these fights. We're paying for ESPN Plus, but no more, D-Rose. After this year, it's going to Paramount Plus, and right now I think it might be $5.99, $6.99, but if it went up to like $15 a month, that'd be fine with me, because we would get all the numbered UFC events. Basically, what are the pay-per-views now? For free. All 12 to 14 of them would be free. So at least I hope so. I did hear Dana White come out and say there'd still be room for 1 or 2 pay-per-views if they wanted to. But I guess, what's your immediate thoughts on, Paramount and UFC and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's obviously an awesome deal, and for the fans, getting to be able to watch as you said, numbered events, which would be the pay-per-views, title fights, getting to watch those types of fights without having to pay $80 per event is dope. As you said, we spend money on them every month in order to watch them. So you're talking 900 some odd bucks you're spending on UFC fights per year. Talking about at the end of the year, once you do everything, and that's that's a lot of money to spend. So being able to save on that alone is a life changer. Now I will say that we've been kind of talking about it too. Obviously Paramount subscriptions are going to go up, right? Like the monthly rate. Like I just don't see how. Because they're going to bring over a bunch of fans from the UFC over to the streaming platform, and they know that they're going to be able to keep a chokehold on those fans, at least for the time being, because UFC fans are loyal to the brand. So yeah, I would say there's a very good chance that you're going to see something that goes up. As you said, I wouldn't be surprised if you see double, maybe $15, $16 a month, maybe 20. Even then, it's still worth it. But I wouldn't be. I guess just don't hold the expectation of paying $8 per month throughout this whole thing. There's definitely going to be rate increases, but I am excited that, and even if there are pay-per-views like one here or there, maybe it's just one here or there and not one, sometimes 2 a month.
Yeah, I agree, man.
And I'm super excited just to get the freaking crap off of ESPN Plus, dude. Like, if there was anything that I was,
dude, you're going to be real disappointed when you try to use Paramount Plus. That's one that I have trouble with. I'm like, dude, trying to use that, it's like trying to pull my toenails off.
I don't use Paramount Plus all the time, but I have used it and have not had too many issues with it. Now, I haven't used it a bunch. Now, the kids, because they watch, like SpongeBob and, Amber watch her TV shows and stuff on there. So they seem to watch it, and it's been okay. I within the last, I say probably like 2-3 months, like my ESPN Plus experience is getting literally worse and worse each time I watch. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it has its days for sure. Antoine wants to know if we saw Davidson's first stint. He got KO'd by Davidson. Indeed, he did. Are y'all picking? Who are y'all picking? Brady versus Gary. Is that a fight? I think Gary becomes champion in 2 years. Is that a fight?
I know Brady was talking about maybe won that fight too. I know he's called out Ian for a little bit.
Are you guys going to buy a Paramount package? And Dana said, well, yeah, we'll of course be watching the UFC, Antoine. And White House card will be broadcast on free TV if that happens. Man, I don't know. Dana said even if it snows, they're gonna be out there.
Good thing it'll be in July, so it won't be.
Yeah, right. All right, D-Rose. Speaking of, Elijah Smith, here he is. Elijah Smith targeting November/December return after body slam KO at UFC Vegas. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Dope. That's dope. Him just getting active. I know he's not super. What is he? 23, 24.
Yeah.
So I know he's not super young, but he's still fairly young and kind of inexperienced. So I think right now, a guy like that, just getting them in there, getting the octagon time is going to be something that's going to be important for him. And, just for him to kind of be able to develop his skills against competition. And, that's a good turnaround for him. So I like it.
Yeah, man. I figure we can play this real quick because why not, and found out something about Elijah Smith. I believe it was today, and I sent it to you, D Rose. So you're gonna play this.
I think it was yesterday you sent it to me.
Yeah.
What should I be looking at if I'm getting a new car?
I would definitely hit either this Outback
Yeah.
or the fan favorite, this Subaru Forester.
So you see what Elijah Smith is doing in his free time. He is a car salesman like our guy D Rose here. Looks like D Rose and Elijah Smith cut from the same cloth, if you will. D Rose knows this guy. He's out there selling Subarus, though, D Rose.
Yes, sir. Hey, I respect the hustle all the same because, hey, I know how it is in this business, man. And now I understand why he's so cutthroat in the octagon because it's a cutthroat business in the car sales game. So, shouts out to him. It's a tough business, but hey, that's
Hey,
he
at one point had that Kia. Are you sure you didn't sell it to him?
He is a little young bull, so I could have
upgraded from the what is this? The hamster, from the hamster mobile to the Optima to the Outback, and then is this a new Kia or is this a Tesla?
Looks like a Tesla.
Yeah, because the new Kias kind of look like that too. Or the new Hyundais, right? Like they got that fucking weird shape there in the front, like the electric ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. Elijah Smith stepping up in the world. Shout out you, man. Hopefully you get to get some performance bonuses where you're not out there selling cars, man. Because as D Rose said, it sucks, man. It sucks.
Hey, but hopefully my man can get enough of the bonuses to where he can get out of the business. Yes, Dave. Thank you for that. But hopefully my man Elijah Smith can get out there, hustle a little bit, get him a couple good UFC contracts to where he can buy himself his own dealership. So that way he can let his money work for him. So shouts out to him, man. That's kind of like the dreams, to start selling and then getting your own lot. Hopefully he can do something like that.
Indeed, man. So getting to the rest of our news real quick, we head on over to Home of Fight. Shout out Home of Fight. Looks like we got a BKFC fight between Mike Perry, Jeremy Stevens, October 4th. That should be a banger, yeah?
Yeah, that should be. I wonder if the size of Mike Perry is going to play a factor, just because he's,
of course.
He's thick, man. Like, I mean, Jeremy Stevens looks small against Mason Jones at 155, and I know Mason Jones ain't the biggest dude in the world, but he's pretty big. And Mike Perry, he could not even come close to making 170 or 155 right now. So, yeah, I think Perry's size is going to be a little bit, but they're both dogs, man. And we know if there's something that Jeremy Stevens is, he is a dog. So I think that's a fun fight.
Yeah, let's see the Hamzat and if I can DC right here. Like you sent me this like earlier, if I can DC, if I can grab, and I'm like, oh, you a big boy, ain't you? You a big boy. And then he's then he runs away like a little hoe. And then Hamzat's like, oh, you want to run away? You want to run away? Come here, brother. I'll just pick you up and I'll fucking swing you around like a little child.
Hey, brother. You come over here. You push me, brother. I go take you down and smash.
Yeah, man. And then some PFL news. I know a lot of you get mad that we don't cover PFL in here. So we got Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes 2 set for October 3rd in Abu Dhabi. You care about that, D-Race?
Yeah, no, that's a good fight. Obviously, we know Usman Nurmagomedov, obviously, related to the Habib family and known Bellator champ. I guess the PFL champ. I don't know. It's hard to keep up with how PFL does their thing, but
PFL tour
and whoever it is at this point. But their first fight was really good. I wasn't super familiar with Paul Hughes until that fight. Then I kind of went back and watched some of his fights from previous, and the dude's good. And that was a hell of a fight between the two in their first one. So that should be a good one.
Yeah, man. We have some news here. I know Alien Perez was calling out Norma Dumont all this past week. They're like, let's have a booty battle. Let's see who's got the better ass. Like that's why Alien Perez has been calling out Norma Dumont literally all week. And then this fight gets announced. Norma Dumont versus Ketlin Vieira. This is going to be November 1st, UFC Vegas 110. So going to be in the Apex. What's your thoughts on that one, man?
You know what? Alien Perez on something. I would not mind the
booty battle.
Yeah. Let's see. Caitlin Vieira just happened to fall off, and Alien Perez came up. Would anybody be mad?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Look at this meme right here. He opens the fridge, rubbing his hand, and then he's all upset. That shit cracks me up, dude.
Oh man. Man, yeah, Alien Perez cooking. She cooking, man. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even care about that fight, to be honest. The Vieira versus Dumont. Yeah, I need Perez versus Dumont.
All right. Let's see what else we got on here. I think that might be it. Might be it, man. You got anything that we didn't talk about?
No. I think that should be about it, man.
All right. So, with that being said, we'll get to why all of you are probably here if we're going to be real. Our picks, predictions, whatever previews that we have for this upcoming weekend's UFC 319 in Chicago. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. So we appreciate you guys for stopping by here. If y'all haven't already, please do us a favor and hit that thumbs up button for you boys. How do you guys feel about Contender Series on Tuesday? Antoine, that was ass, man. That was ass. And then him wanting to know what's the reason to buy a dealership, D-Rose.
The reason to buy a dealership? Oh, what's the busy season for a dealership? I'm sorry, I misheard the question.
No, I for sure asked you what's the reason to buy a dealership, and for some reason that's what I thought his question was. But that's me just looking at it and then not reading it. like reading what I think it says, as opposed to actually reading it.
Yeah, there's a couple phases. You'll get around like that tax time where people are getting tax refunds and stuff like that. People have down payments and everything, and then a lot of times during the summer, people are off work. For some reason, it's like the urge to want to drive more, especially like stuff that's kind of like sportier, sunroofs, convertibles, and things like that. But yeah, it kind of comes in ebbs and flows in certain phases.
All right, so hopefully that answered your question, Antoine. Let's get to the fights for this upcoming weekend. We've got UFC 319, Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Fights taking place, prelims at least, start at 6 p.m. on Saturday, East Coast time. It's going to take place at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. We have 14 fights to go over, D-Rose. 14. It is headlined by Dricus Still Knox du Plessis taking on Khamzat Chimaev. In the co-main event, we have Lerone the Miracle Murphy taking on UFC newcomer Aaron Pico. We have Jeff Hands of Steel Neal taking on Carlos the Nightmare Prates. We have the Killer Gorilla Jerry Cannonier taking on MVP Michael Venom Page. We have Awkward Tim Elliott taking on Kai Asakura. We have King Green taking on Diego Ferreira or Carlos Diego Ferreira, or what do you call him? The CDF? I think you call him
Carlos
CDF.
Diego Ferreira.
Yeah. Anyway, we got GM3 taking on Mikal Olashejuk. We have Jessica Batistaka Andrade taking on Lupita Godinez, dude. What a fight that is. We have Alexander the Great Ape Hernandez taking on Chase the Dream Hooper. We've got Edson Barboza returning up to 155 to take on Drakkar Klose. We've got Nursultan Rizaboev, black, if you will, taking on the Butcher, Brian Battle. We have killer Karine Silva taking on short notice replacement Diani Barbosa. And we're also going to have one more fight that's not even added on here. But yeah, anyway, we have Rodrigo Cincinnati taking on Danlil Donchenko. That was on the Ultimate Fighter for the finale. And the other one from the finale is Alibi Idris taking on Joseph Morales. So we will be having 15 fights this week, D-Rose, to go over and talk about. So I guess up first, we'll talk about the one that's not on here that will be – where did I see it earlier? Oh, did I pull it up earlier?
You had spoke about it, but didn't.
I didn't pull it up.
Yeah, I don't know if it was anything that was. I didn't see anything for the pictures on the Instagram page, but you did mention.
Yeah, I saw it here.
Hamza's partner from last night.
Yeah, here it is. I should share this tab. There we go. So, boom. Here we go. So the one that's not added to Tapology yet is this one right here. It will be Baysangar Susurkayev is going to take on CFFC welterweight champion Eric Nolan this weekend. So it's going to be Eric Nolan, welterweight champion here on the right, taking on Susurkayev that fought last night, D-Rose. So we don't have odds or anything, but I can only imagine he's probably going to be minus 1,000 favorite, something like that. That's the only thing that I can imagine. What about you?
Yeah, probably somewhere around there, especially fighting a CFFC welterweight champion. Considering because he's middleweight, right?
Yep.
Suzukayev. So yeah, that he's probably gonna be a pretty decent favorite. Me, I'm staying away from that betting wise.
Oh, I'll be betting on him round one knockout. I can't wait to get odds for that, dude. This dude's lethal.
Oh yeah, he 100% is, but it's just a.
Now is it going to be minus 200? Yeah.
Yeah, just shaky for all parties involved. Just taking the fight on short notice, and he just fought last night. Now he's going to have to turn around and make another weight cut again. It's just,
he took that fight on short notice as well, a week.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like it's that can add up a little bit, man. You want to be a little careful. So yeah, I'm staying away from that fight betting wise.
All right. So we'll get into the rest of them. We'll move into the first one where we have Alibi Idris taking on Joseph Morales. It doesn't look like we have odds for this, at least yet. Do you have odds on your side, D-Rose?
I have not seen any on ESPN now.
All right, well, I'll jump into the fights. Alibi Idris is 10-0, undefeated. Of course, out of his last 5 fights, he is 5-0. Fighting out of Kazakhstan. He is 5'6". We don't know a reach, but if you want to know how he fights, just go watch Shavkat. He's basically fights the same way. He's going to be taking on Bopo, Joseph Morales, 12-2 overall. His only 2 losses were in the UFC, where he had a split decision loss to Eric Shelton and got knocked out by Davidson Figueroa. But in this fight, he did get a fight of the night bonus. So, not the worst fighter in the world. He did rattle off 3 wins, but, I mean, it's been a while ago. 4 years ago, 3 years, 5 months ago, and 2 years, 6 months ago at this point. He is 30 years old, 5'6", and a 68-inch reach. D-Rose, I personally thought Joseph Morales lost the fight against the semifinals guy, so I don't even think that he should be here, as were Alibi Idris. He's just good, man. He's just good. He tends to finish these guys. But if I'm going to be honest, I will probably go Alibi Idris to win this fight via decision, just because flyweights, dude, scrambly, tough. None of them really have KO threat power aside from, fucking Davidson Figueroa. So I'm going Alibi Idris via decision. How about you, man?
Yeah, I will also take Alibi Idris by decision just because I'll tell you, I actually forgot that the Ultimate Fighter series finale was this weekend, and I'll be honest, I did not get to do much research in either of these picks. So yeah, I'm just riding with the guy who I'm thinking is probably going to be the favorite, and yeah, I'm going to go with Alibi Idris here with
All
no
right.
research whatsoever.
All right. Well, you're not going to make the wrong pick. Moving on to the next one. Although we have one that's a little bit tougher, if I'm going to be honest. We have Rodrigo Cincinnati taking on Danil Donchenko. Rodrigo is 8-1 overall out of his last 5 fights, 4 wins and 1 loss. His loss was to Wilker Lemos in professional Judo Brazil. Anyway, this will be at 170 pounds. His opponent will be Danil Donchenko at 11-2 overall out of his last 5 fights. He has 4 wins and 1 loss. This guy lost to a guy named Kaibek. I don't even know how to say that. Anyway, he is 24 years old, 5'11". And if I have to be honest with you, Rose, I watched him fight last night against I forgot the dude's name, Matt something. But that's the guy that I personally thought was going to end up winning the whole thing. And he ended up knocking him out, man. And one thing that I really like from Danil Donchenko is, dude, his first choice of weapon seems to be elbows and body shots. Like, he's not a headhunter really at all. He goes in there, wings to the body, and if it gets in close, throws elbows to the head. He is a lethal fighter. The only issue is, on the other hand, Rodrigo, in both fights on the Ultimate Fighter that I saw, he was just ground control and just a lot of control, man. Stayed safe, didn't really do anything to wow me at all, even in the slightest. So if I'm going to be honest, I have to pick Rodrigo to win this fight via decision. But what I hope is Danil comes out here and fucking hits him with some wild shit, knocks out Rodrigo. But what I really need to see is the weigh-ins and face-off, because what surprised me was Donchenko's size against the guy that he was fighting last night. I didn't think he was going to be that big, and he was quite bigger than him. So I can't wait to see weigh-ins here, but I'll go Cincinnati via decision. But I really hope Donchenko knocks this guy out. But once again, once weigh-ins happen, I will probably be a lot more confident on a side either way, and I might even pick flip. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I've only seen just a little bit, just a little bit of each. I did see the Donchenko KO last night. That was a nasty KO. And for Cedinato, the only thing you said I've really seen is that, he's really just got, wrestling control. Not that he can't strike from the highlights that I've seen, but he's definitely going to try to get the fight down to the ground. But I'm going to take a shot at Donchenko here. I do think that, that, as you said, he, the variety of shots, can mix it up a little bit. I think if he can stuff the takedowns here, man, I think it's Donchenko's fight to lose. And, as you said, going to those body shots, I think that's something that can wear on your gas tank after a while, especially if Cedinato is going to try to do a lot of wrestling and stuff like that. If he's able to get his takedown stuffed and then he's eating body shots, I think that can wear on the gas tank. So give me Donchenko here. Give me decision.
All right. That's our first different one of the night. I hope it doesn't come down to that, D-Rose, because, man, I could easily pick flip. I might even pick the other fighter. So hopefully it's not like last week when we have one different fight and I can end up tossing that one. I can toss that one off. Anyway, we'll move on to the next fight of the night, and it's going to be Killer Karine Silva taking on Diani Barbosa, the witch, if you will. Killer Karine Silva is 18-5 overall out of her last 5 fights. She is 4 wins and 1 loss. Her last fight was a loss to Viviane Araujo 8 months ago. 8 months ago. She is 31 years old, 5'5", and a 67-inch reach, apparently training with the Fighting Nerds. Anyway, Diani the Witch Barbosa is 8-3 overall out of her last 5 fights. She is 4 wins and 1 loss. Her only loss is to Miranda Maverick a year ago. She is 33 years old, 5'6", and a 66-inch reach. D-Rose, this is basically the same fighter Karina Silva is a little bit better, I would say. She has more submission threat on the ground, but let's not act like, Diana Barboza can't go out there and do what she did to Diana Belbitsa like she did in her last fight. I just think Karina is a little bit better of a fighter. And something else, Diana Barboza is taking this fight on short notice because Karina Silva was going to fight. Who was she going to fight? JJ Aldridge, and JJ Aldridge ended up having an injury, so she had to pull out. So Diana Barboza will be taking this fight on short notice. So I'm going to go killer Karina Silva to win this fight. I would say via submission, but I think the fellow Brazilian is going to be able to withstand all of the attacks. I'm going to go killer Karina Silva to win via decision. How about you, Deros?
Yeah, I'll for me, I'm pretty confident in Karina Silva here to get the job done. Yeah, as you said, with Diana Barboza, taking the fight on short notice, and I do think there's going to be there'll be a little bit of a size discrepancy on I think just in terms of the Karina Silva is a thicker
The mass,
girl, yeah, she's a much thicker girl compared to Diana Barboza, and I think in the wrestling game you'll be able to see that. It was a little concerning that Silva wasn't able to get the takedowns against Vivi, a girl who,
that's my girl,
she
man.
gets taken down, and she's normally down. Like, she's not getting back up, and she wasn't able to get the takedowns in the way she wanted to against Vivi Araujo. So it's a little bit concerning, but I still think that Barboza taking the fight on short notice, Silva kind of being the dog that she is, I still think that Silva should be able to get the job done here. So I'm going to go Karine Silva. Let's go by decision. I was going to say maybe submission, but don't want to get too tricky here. Let's go. Decision.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I could see it. I could see it myself, but I don't know, dude. I feel like I had ever since I ate those fucking beans, I've had one of my nostrils fucking clogged, and I was like, I have to blow my nose. All right, so me and D-Rose both on killer Karina Silva via decision. Moving on to the next one. Man on you boys, hot. Anyway, we've got Nursultan Black Rizaboev taking on Brian the Butcher Battle. Nursultan Rizaboev, dude, I don't think half these fights are real. 36-9-2 overall. He is, out of his last 5 fights, 4 wins and 1 loss. His loss was to new monster Joaquin Buckley. He is 31 years old, 6'5" and a 76-inch reach, while Brian the Butcher Battle is 12-2 overall out of his last 5 fights. 4 wins and the accidental eye poke over Angelusa. So we can just count 5 wins in there. Anyway, he's 30 years old, 6'1" and a 77-inch reach. And this is going to be at 185, D-Rose. So I prefer Brian Battle down at 170 if I'm going to be real. And if this fight was at 170, I would have no issue taking Brian Battle to maybe even finish Nursultan Rizaboev. But it's at 185, and I'm just going to count on Brian Battle to just go in there, put the pressure on him like Brian Battle does, dude. Stay in Rizaboev's face, just not get hit by anything too big, and just win this fight via decision. But I want to be betting Brian Battle 3 or decision. How about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, well, I think the good thing here for this fight, because I am with you that I do think that Brian Battle has a higher ceiling at 170 compared to 185. Nursultan Rizaboev is also a guy who wants to fight at 170, but is fighting at 185. So it's not like, Brian Battle's going in and fighting a guy who is coming down from 205. He's not fighting like Alex Pereira, a guy who's that much more massive. And Brian Battle's a pretty big guy himself. So I think he's going to be able to hold his own in terms of the size. It's just something about Rizaboev, man, that I'm just not the most impressed with, if I'm being honest. I don't know what it is necessarily. And he doesn't have the best strength of schedule, but I mean, he's got some pretty definitive finishes in some of those. So, you got to give credit where credit's due in that sense. But I still think Brian Battle can get into a little bit more of that dogfight I do think that Ruziboyev can use his wrestling, but I think as long as Brian Battle keeps it on the feet, I still think that he's the quicker of the two, and Brian Battle should be able to get it done. Ruziboyev's pretty tough, so I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't think Battle's going to be able to get the finish, but I'm going to go a little bit of a dogfight here. Brian Battle by decision.
All right, me and you both on Brian Battle via decision. We'll move on to the next one, where we have Edson Jr. Barboza taking on Drakkar Klose. Edson Barboza moving back up to 155 here. Out of his last 5 fights, I believe they were all at featherweight. He lost to Giga. He lost to Bryce Mitchell. He beat Billy Quarantillo. He beat Sadiq Yusuf, and he lost to Lerone Murphy a year and 2 months ago. Edson's 39 years old, 5'11", and a 75-inch reach, while Drakkar Klose is 15-3-1 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, 4 wins and 1 loss. His loss was to Joel Alvarez, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's a welterweight. He did beat Joaquim Silva. He did beat Joe Selecki via slam. He did beat Rafa Garcia, and then he did beat Brandon Jenkins, which that guy's ass. Anyway, he is 37 years old, 5'9", and a 70-inch reach. D-Rose, do we see the return of the old junior Edson Barboza this weekend back up at 155?
I don't know. What are you thinking?
That was me passing it to you. I was going to let you.
Oh, okay.
I was going to let you break this one down.
I didn't realize you wanted me to
make
go
your
first.
pick first.
There's very much a chance you could. Him going back up to 155. You can make the argument that maybe that was a weight class that was more suited for him. I think they said he went I think it was 4-4 at featherweight, which it didn't even feel like that he had 8 fights at featherweight.
I didn't know he had 8 featherweight fights.
I didn't realize that he had that many, but yeah, he basically went 500 down there. So up the lightweight he goes, and we know the dynamic striker he is. The kicks that he's got, the highlight reels, and Drakkar Klose. We know the type of style that he brings. Heavy pressure.
He's in a few highlights. He may be getting finished in those highlights, but he's in some highlights.
Yeah, exactly. He's on one side of one of the greatest memes in UFC history with the DC layover on Joe Rogan as John Anik as jaws in the floor.
Do you remember when he got
that Vinny D fight? So yeah.
Do you remember when he got fucking knocked out by the push by Jeremy Stevens?
Yeah, dude. The crazy part is he actually missed some time from that. He got severely hurt from that. He said that he had a really bad weight cut. And then when Jeremy did that or whatever, I guess it ended up messing with his organs or whatever. I don't know how all that stuff goes, but yeah, dude, just absolutely insane. But
what would have happened if you fought the next day?
Yeah, well, I guess he didn't get to rehydrate. I guess that was his big thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do think that I think there's some value on Drakkar Klose here being an underdog, man. I do think that Edson Barboza, he's obviously the better striker of the two. I do think that obviously he wants it at distance, Edson does, where I think Drakkar Klose is going to use his pressure and get in Edson's face. And we've seen Edson also, if he's able to get taken down, he can be controlled. We've seen Drakkar Klose use his wrestling in the past as well. Now, he hasn't used it as much in his last few fights, but he's got it in the back pocket just in case. So I think he's got the style to beat Edson. I do think it's going to be a little bit dicey here because we have seen Drakkar Klose get clipped before. But I think as long as he can stay clean, he's got the style to get it done. Give me Drakkar Klose by decision here, and what could be also a little bit of a dogfight.
All right. I am going to be going the other way, D-Rose. I think I agree with you. I think it's going to be a dogfight, but I just don't think Drakkar Klose is anywhere close to Edson Barboza's level. Even now, at how old is he? 39. Edson's still quick, dude. He's got solid leg kicks, and I think he's just going to light up Drakkar Klose to the body, to the legs, maybe even to the head. So I am going to be going Edson Barboza to win this fight via decision. And I feel much better about this fight being for the big champ opposed to the Ultimate Fighter one being for the big champ. So that'll be our second different fight of the night. D Rose is going to be on Drakkar Close, and I am on Edson Barboza. I did not say any of the odds so far. So Killer Karina Silva is minus 205 favorite over Deani Barbosa plus 170. Brian Battle is a minus 170 favorite over the plus 142 Nursultan Rizaboev. And Edson Barboza is a minus 135 favorite over the plus 114 Drakkar Close. So we'll move on to the next one. That is Chase, the Dream Hooper, taking on the Great Ape, Alexander Hernandez. Alexander Hernandez, 16-8 overall out of his last 5 fights, 3 wins, 2 losses. He is 32 years old, 5'9", and a 72-inch reach. His last 2 fights were 4 months ago, where he has a win over Kurt Hollowball, and a split decision win 10 months ago over Austin Hubbard. Before that, he lost to Damon Jackson a year, and 4 months ago down at 145. Chase Hooper is 16-3-1 overall out of his last 5 fights, undefeated, 5-0. Last fight was 3 months ago. Jim Miller won by decision, and then he armbarred Clay Guida. Anyway, he is 25 years old, 6'1", and a 74-inch reach, and I am not wasting any more of my time. I think it's going to be Chase Hooper, and it's going to be Chase Hooper round, what is it, D-Rose, 2 or 3? Round 3? Let's go round 3 TKO for Chase Hooper, because if Chase Hooper is getting takedowns or just being on top, Alexander Hernandez is going to gas, man. He just never had the best gas tank. He went down to 145 to try to bully the guys, but let's be real. He was too big for 145, and Chase Hooper is an absolute monster at 155. He just keeps growing. So I'm going Chase Hooper to get down Alexander Hernandez with ease multiple times, and hopefully he doesn't finish him before the 3rd round. But if so, hopefully it's in round 2 or 3, because I'll probably have round 2, round 3 TKO and sub props played. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Yeah, I think
we got the shadow in here. What's going on, man? Didn't realize Sugar Sean replaced Matt. All right.
It's a sugar show. Yeah, a lot of people were very adamant that Chase Hooper was going to get a finish against Jim Miller, and of course that
was one of them. He was trying. He was going for the spladle.
Yeah, that was and it was a lot of wild sequences on the ground, but yeah, I was surprised that so many people were so adamant about him getting a decision, because we did see Chase Hooper hurt Slava Claus on the feet, but other than that, he doesn't have the most power in his hands. I do think that Alex Hernandez, while he's had cardio issues in the past, I do think that he's done a little bit of a better job in his last few fights as far as managing his gas tank. So I do think that he's okay there, and he does get hit a lot. But Chase Hooper, again, I don't know if Chase Hooper is going to have the most power to necessarily hurt Hernandez, basically to where it's going to be a club and sub situation. I don't see Chase Hooper being able to do that. I think it ends up being, truthfully, I think it ends up being a little bit of a slower, kind of boring fight, kind of similar to what the Jim Miller fight was. I'm going to say Chase Hooper here by decision. I think he's just a bigger guy. I think he's going to, go for his back takes against the fence, get the takedown, get some nice trips here and there, be able to get the control. I think Hernandez survives, but I think Chase Hooper gets it done by decision.
Fair enough, dude. I don't hate it. I just, at minus 325 right now, I think Chase Hooper is an excellent parlay piece. I don't see a way that he loses this fight, if I'm going to be honest.
I do have him parlayed, so.
Okay.
But just money line. I'm not doing any finishes.
Yeah. All right. Currently odds minus 325 Chase Hooper, Alexander Hernandez plus 260. Antoine, listen, how did you guys feel about Alex in his debut and in the Cowboy fight? People forget he fake glove touch Vinny D. Yep.
Man, the Cowboy finish was one of the because of course, Matt knows I'm a very big Cowboy Cerrone fan, and yeah, dude, see Cowboy go in there and just put the smackdown on Alex Hernandez, landing that beautiful crane kick. That was, Cowboy Cerrone's signature head kick, dude. That was beautiful work of art from Cerrone on one of his best performances.
And we got Tone in here. What's going on, Tone? How you doing, brother? Anyway, moving on to the next fight. Me and D Rose both on Chase Hooper. I'm on Chase Hooper to finish Alexander Hernandez. D Rose thinks he wins via decision. So up next, man, you already know what's about to happen, D Rose. Here we go. We have Jessica Bata Estaca Andrade taking on Lupita Godinez. Jessica Andrade is 26-14 overall out of her last 5 fights. She is 2 wins and 3 losses. Lost to Jasmine Jasdavicius via submission. Lost to Natalia Silva via decision. She did beat Marina Rodriguez via split decision. Knocked out Mackenzie Dern a year and 8 months ago, and then lost to Tatiana Suarez 2 years ago. I was live in Nashville watching that one, D-Rose. Anyway, she is 33 years old, 5'1" and a 62-inch reach, while Lupi Godinez is 13-5 overall out of her last 5 fights. 3 wins and 2 losses. Win over Julia Palostri via decision. Lost to Mackenzie Dern. Lost to Verna Jane Jaroba. Win over Tabitha Ricci via split decision, and Elise Reed submitted her rear naked choke. Anyway, Lupi's 31 years old, 5'2" and a 61-inch reach. You know what? I'm not going to think about it, D-Rose. We're going Lupi via decision. That's what we're going. Lupi's my damn near my favorite female fighter. There for a while, I was at more Lupi Godinez fights more than I wasn't at Lupi Godinez fights. For some reason, I am just there cheer. Let's go Lupi, and on my couch, I'm going to be cheering. Let's go Lupi. I don't know what it is about her. Something just makes me want to cheer for her so much. I don't even know what it is, but I'm going Lupi Godinez. Now, could she get the submission over Jessica Andrade? I think if she was a little bit bigger, if she was a little bit more physical, more aggressive, I would think so. If she had like the Jazz style down at 115, I would say so. But down at 115, I think the fighters are going to match up rather well. And I'm just going to go Lupi to get the takedowns, maybe even box Jessica Andrade up just a little bit. Let's go Lupi via decision. How about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, this one is, I'll be honest, one I've been going back and forth with. And, a big thing for me is that, Lupi, she's got a little bit of that dog in her, but you have to admit, because I know you are a big fan, she has moments in fights where she makes bad IQ decisions.
My dog walks in front of me all the time. She got that dog in her.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Move!
You're like, bro, get your ass out the way. It's she makes bad decisions sometimes, and I'm like, dude, like, what is going on? My worry for Jessica Andrade is that Andrade is at the point now where, dude, she's basically just fighting for a paycheck. Like, is she not?
I think she opened her OnlyFans back up too.
Insane. I didn't even know she had an OnlyFans. Like, you're joking, right?
What? Oh, believe me, there's been a few of you fucking dickheads out there sending me those fucking pictures. Fuck y'all for that.
Yeah,
man.
Honestly, I thought you were joking. I did not realize that.
No, dude. Let's just say, you know what, D-Rose? Let's just say she's a fan of roses. I'll just leave it like that. So,
That's wild.
Mr. D-Rose himself.
You know what? I think you might have sent me one of the pictures. Now that I think about it, but
you think I sent you one? I never in my life sent anyone any of those pictures. I wouldn't dare ruin someone's day like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, but
yeah, man, go for it. You go check them out. Just go type Jessica Andrade with roses. Make sure you turn off your Google image filter. But yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But yeah, Jessica Andrade is starting to work.
And it's bad when Dave says that's disgusting.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. If it's that bad, then yeah, I'm staying away. Yeah, I'm definitely staying away. But yeah, I'm gonna go Lupi here by decision. I think it's just Jessica Andrade just worries me. at this point. I just think she's almost just cashing herself out at this point.
You go back and like do the unwanted flashback. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Anyway, me and D Rose both on Loopy via decision, but is mostly because Andrade is just cooked now.
Not even that she's cooked. I mean, she had the Mackenzie Dern performance not too long ago, but I just don't know. Is she even
was a
really
while
in it at this
ago,
point?
no?
You know what I mean? Like that's
That
what's
was 2
worrying me the
years
most.
ago.
And honestly, if I had any sort of confidence that Jessica Andrade was coming in with like any real intent, I'm probably going to pick Andrade. And she has won her last 2 fights at strawweight. She lost her last 2 at flyweight, and she lost to Jasmine, and she lost to Natalia Silva. So that's the thing. I can almost talk myself into Andrade.
Gotcha. I got you.
Andrade is motivated, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't know.
I got you, man. I got you. All right. So we'll move on to the next fight where we have Gerald GM3 Mearshart taking on Mikhail Husar Olashechuk. I guess not the newest fighting nerd anymore, though. Anyway, GM3 is 37-19 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he has 3 losses and 2 wins. Lost to Brad Tavares 3 months ago. Man, I hated that. Anyway, lost to RDR 8 months ago. Then, dude, he was winning that fight until he got submitted. It did beat Edmund Shabazian damn near a year ago, but that's no surprise. And then choked out Brian Barberina a year and 4 months ago. Lost to Andre Petrosky via split decision, which was just sad to see as well. Anyway, GM3 is 37 years old, 6'1" and a 77.5-inch reach, while Mikhail Olashechuk is 20-9 overall. And of his last 5 fights, he has 2 wins and 3 losses. Win over Cedriquez Dumas 3 months ago. I cashed on that one. Lost to Sherbolt Magomedov, lost to Kevin Holland, lost to Michel Pereira, and a win over Chidi and Joe Kawani 1 year and 11 months ago. Looks like, yeah, man. Michel is 30 years old, 6 foot, and a 74-inch reach. This one's one that I've been going back and forth on. If I'm going to be honest, I have a hard time picking a winner here, but I will say I've been doing awful at telling you guys the odds. Thankfully, I got changed cheddar Friday, right? To actually let you guys know the odds. The over-under here, D-Row, is 1.5, and it's -110 basically a piece. -110 for the over, -110, -120 for the under. I don't mind the over here, man. If GM3 can get a hold of fucking Mikhail Olashechuk, he's going down, and all he has to do is just lay on him that entire first round, and that shit basically cashes at that point. But because I'm picking basically all the favorites on this whole card, I got to pick a few dogs, and because I've been flipping back and forth, let me go the +195 dog. Let me go GM3. Guess how I'm doing it? Round 3 submission, baby. The way GM3 does it. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, this one for me, I think it's
Look at
pretty
Dave.
cut
Look
and dry.
at Dave. GM3 myself. Yep.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty cut and dry. It's either GM3 gets a takedown and gets the sub. I think he could maybe get the sub even earlier. And I think for Mikhail Olashechuk, it's for him to basically, I'm not saying
Fight how he
run
fights.
down GM3, but he's basically going to walk him down, just get in his face.
Do the
just
Chelsea Chandler.
Shuffle, and just box him up. And just land a couple body shots, crush GM3 and get him out of there early. And I think that's what Olashechuk does, man. I think my biggest thing, I know that he's not training with the Fight Nerds anymore per se, but I do think that him having
I think he's down there still. Oh,
I thought you had said that he's not.
Not the newest fighting nerd anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah, but because I was gonna say, like, big thing for me is that he's had a little bit of stability because over a few losses that he had, as we had mentioned before in this podcast, he was training with like his buddies and stuff outside of like a garage or whatever. So it's like, he didn't really have any stability. Where I've heard Kyle Bahio, sort of talk glowingly about Olashechuk and how well he's came along in the training room since he's been settled in at the Fight Nerds camp. So I think that's a big thing for Olashechuk to have some stability. Give me Ola Shake here. I'm going to go round 2 KO.
All right, me and Drew split on that one for the third time of the night. I am on GM3, round 3 submission. D Rose is on Mikhail Oshejuk, round 2 knockout. Next fight of the night, we have King Green, dumb name, taking on Diego Ferreira. Dude, how many times you got to be hit in the head to change your name to King?
To be fair, he has been hit in the head a lot. So.
Yeah, man. Anyway, that Drew Dober knockout just changed old King Green. I don't know. the Jalen Turner one didn't help either, man. I think that one was the final nail in the coffin, the Jalen Turner fight. Like at that point, he's just lost it. Anyway, he is 32 years old. I mean, he is not 32. He is 38 years old. He is 32, 17, and 1 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he is 3 losses, 2 wins. Lost to Mauricio Hufi, lost to Patty Pimblett. He did beat Jim Miller. He did lose to Jalen Turner. And then he did knock out Grant Dawson. I remember cashing my bet out right before that happened. That was cool. Anyway, 38 years old, 5'10", and 71-inch reach, while Carlos Diego Ferreira is 19-6 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, 3 losses, 2 wins. But, I mean, 6 months ago, lost to Grant Dawson. He beat Matus Rombetsky a year and 2 months ago. Man, fuck this. Man, I'm not reliving that. He is fighting out of McAllen, Texas. That is actually where my fiance is from. He is 40 years old, 5'9", and 74-inch reach. Odds for the fight, D-Rose. Does this make any sense to you? Have you seen these odds yet?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's plus 130 Bobby Green, minus 155 for Diego Ferreira. Over-under here is 1.5 as well, minus 215 for the over, and for the under is plus 165. First of all, give me the over 1.5 all day, but also give me Bobby Green to win this fight via decision. And it's mostly just because my hatred for Carlos Diego Ferreira. For a while, everyone thought I treat him and Hany Barcelos the same, man. Everyone was like, he's so good. And never once have they done anything to impress me. If anything, I just bet against them every single time. And usually I'm right, man, because they've been losing more than they've been winning. But occasionally they'll burn me like this one right here when I know everyone and their mom was on Matus Rombetsky in that fight. And, CDF just showed up one last time, it looked like. But, yeah, D-Rose, I've won Bobby Green to just keep his hands down by his side the whole fight and just punch Carlos Diego Ferreira in the face and win that way via decision. Like, just hands down by the side. Wait. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I think this is it's appropriate matchmaking. Both older guys, been in the UFC for a while. Both contrasting styles, but just in terms of the age bracket and where they're at, it's a good fight. I do think that Bobby Green's obviously got the better striking between the two, although Carlos Diego Ferreira can hold his own. Diego Ferreira is looking to try to get the fight down to the ground to take it to where he can do his work. And I do think that Bobby Green does tend to
King Green.
Yeah, let me get it right. Yeah, King Green.
Don't call him out his name.
Yeah. You better not call him out the wrong name that was the right name, but now it's the wrong name. King Green, whatever it is. I do think that he can be taken down, and we have seen him taken down.
Dude, it sounds like a dispensary name.
King Green, I can see that, or like some shake, some like protein shake, some like healthy shake restaurant or something like that, like
a vegan restaurant.
like some shake shop or something like that. But give me Diego Ferreira here. I'm going to actually say by submission. I think he ends up getting the fight down to the ground. Bobby Green, when he gets down to, he's got good takedown defense initially, but when he gets down to the ground is when he tends to struggle at times. I think Diego Ferreira's jiu-jitsu is pretty good as well. I can see like a head and arm choke or something like that. But give me Diego Ferreira by submission round 2.
All right. Me and Dero split on that one for the 4th time of the night. And Antoine wants to know, after breaking down the prelims, rate the prelim card. We haven't had 15 fights in so long. Yeah, I'm excited for a few on the prelim card. I think I'm excited for Chimaev, but they'll probably put him at, they probably won't put him at the first fight of the night, though. I am interested to see how Alibi looks in the UFC, but it's against Joseph Morales, so we don't really know. I'm excited for the Donchenko fight. Dude, he's exciting. I just think that he can get taken down, and what happens if he gets taken down and controlled. So that one could go either way. Yeah, man, I don't think prelims are bad. Maybe C+ for prelims, Heroes. How about you?
Yeah, they're not terrible. I will say that. They're not terrible. But they're not necessarily the best either.
Yeah. And did you guys watch Tough? I watched Tough. D-Rose did not watch Tough.
Did not watch Tough at all.
All right, D-Rose. So moving on to the main card. If y'all haven't already, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. First fight on the main card, we got awkward Tim Elliott taking on Kai Asakura. 20-13-1 for Tim Elliott is his record overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he is 3 wins and 2 losses. But when did he last fight? Damn near 2 years ago against Sumu Darj. Dude, if I'm going to be honest, I thought Tim Elliott retired, if I'm going to be completely honest. I did not know he was still fighting.
Kind of like Lauren Murphy, right? Like, out of nowhere when we thought they were retired, and like, oh, you actually fight still?
Yeah. Lost to Muhammad Makayev a year and 9 months ago. But, dude, he gave Muhammad Makayev a little bit of a tough fight there, not going to lie. He did beat Victor Altamirano and Takir Lindbeckall. But, dude, this is 3 years ago at this point. Anyway, he is 38 years old, 5'7", and a 66-inch reach. Does this even exist anymore? Glory MMA and Fitness?
You said Glory MMA?
I could have swore that was fucking James Krause's gym, right? Or did he like just fucking sell it and just move on?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he has no involvement in the place whatsoever. I don't know if they changed the name, but
yeah, I'm sure he has no involvement whatsoever.
Hey, he probably has no involvement, so he can make sure he could make his bets. You know how much of a degenerate gambler that dude was. You know he's not going to.
Dude, I've been seeing him on my Instagram.
Ever having not being able to bet.
I've been seeing him on my Instagram recently, popping up doing like fucking real estate shit.
Yeah, I saw something like that. Like I think it was a couple months back that he was in the real estate and stuff. So again, another gamble. That's another big gamble too.
Yeah. Do you think there should be a UFC achievement wing for guys like Gerald? No, we're not doing this, Antoine. Let's see if he can bounce back after the loss to Pantoja. We'll see. All right, Nero. So let's talk about it. Asakura, on the other hand, is 21-5 overall. He lost his UFC debut to Pantoja, but that's the champion. He is 31 years old, 5'8", and a 69-inch reach. And D-Rose, I just think Tim Elliott's cooked, man. And there's nothing that Kai does that impresses me, but he is 31 years old and a lot more younger. He's kind of a big guy, too. I suspect if I'm going to be honest, he probably could submit him, but I'm going to pick Kai Asakura to win this fight via decision. He's not lost the champion. That was his UFC debut. Let him come in here and get his feet wet against someone that's ass. I'm not saying Tim Elliott's ass, but at 38 years old, he's half of two cheeks at this point. You know, I'm just going to leave it at that. Which way you going here, D-Rose?
Damn, not my guy, Tim Elliott. But
the awkward one.
Yeah, I will keep this one short and sweet, though. I do think Kai Asakura gets it done. I'm with you. I thought Tim Elliott was retired at this point. For him to still be even fighting is crazy. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a mention of, oh, this is Tim Elliott's last ride He just wanted to retire the right way and before he gets out of here. But I still think, coming off the two-year layoff, and he won his last fight, but against a guy like Suma Darji who gets taken down.
Dude, I could have swore he took that fight, dude, because he was going through a divorce and needed money to pay for his lawyer because Kevin Kroom took fucking Gina Mazzani and then he was going through a divorce and that's why he took that fight. That's what I thought.
I would not be surprised. I do remember something like that, a story like that coming up, but I don't know the exact reasons, but I'm sure there was a lot of factors involved, but I'm going to go Asakura here. This more explosive guy, better striker overall. As long as he keeps the fight on the feet, he should be able to get the job done. I'm going to say by decision.
All right. Well, I can see it. He can't wear shoes though, so we'll see how he looks in his second fight with no shoes. I'm not sure if he was a shoe wearer over there in Rising though, was it?
I didn't remember seeing any shoes in his highlights, but
yeah, but you're allowed to wear shoes there.
Right.
And do you think Kai challenged for the belt again? 31. Man, I would have to see how he looks against someone else that's not Tim Elliott for me to decide that. Anyway, moving on to the next fight, we got the Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier, taking on none other than Michael Venom Page, MVP. Jared Cannonier is 18-8 overall out of his last 5 fights, 3 wins and 2 losses. He did beat Gregory Rodriguez 5 months ago. I picked it correctly too, so that was cool. He did lose to Caio Bahayo and to Nasruddin Imavov, where let's be real, he got knocked out against Caio Bahayo as well there, like late in the fight. Jason Herzog just didn't stop it. Anyway, he did beat Marvin Vettori, where, dude, that was probably the best Jared Cannonier performance that we've seen. I don't want to say his whole career, but he beat the shit out of Marvin Vettori. Anyway, and then he did beat Sean Strickland via split decision 2 years ago that everyone thought that Sean Strickland won that fight. Anyway, Jared Cannonier is 41 years old, 5'11", and a 77-inch reach, while Michael Venom Page, 23-3 overall out of his last 5 fights. He is 3 wins and 2 losses, win over Sharon Bullitt, lost to Ian Gary, win over Kevin Holland, and that was in Bellator, so no one cares. He is 38 years old, 6'3", and a 79-inch reach. D Rose, I'm going to ask you the same thing that I've asked you a few times tonight. Is Jared Cannonier cooked, man? I know he just now beat Hobocop 5 months ago, but if I'm going to be honest, he don't look like the old Jared Cannonier, dude. He ain't moving as fast. And I hate to make the comparison, dude, but Tyron Woodley-esque, he's just kind of backing up toward the fence and just kind of standing there and just kind of waiting, man. And when I start seeing that, I just you can see, we've seen it over and over, dude. When fighters get older, they just tend to not want it as more. They've had their whole career now. They're just backing up and just hoping to not get finished. And this weekend, dude, I still might even bet it, dude. I am going to go MVP via decision here just because he's going to move, pick and poke the whole fight and for sure win. But, dude, MVP has these lethal knockouts. And if Jared Cannonier is just standing there, dude, I could see MVP knocking out Jared Cannonier. I am going to go MVP via decision, but I'll probably have a few MVP via knockout bets. Which way are you going, man?
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this one plays out. I do think that, because I've actually gone back and forth on this one a little bit too. MVP is obviously going to have the speed advantage on his feet. He's got that bouncing style. He bounces in and out, kind of darts in and out really quickly. Closes distance, but then he gets right back out and gets back to work, and he frustrates his opponents. But I do think that Jared Cannonier is the stronger guy of the two. Now, he's going to be the smaller guy. MVP is a big guy. I didn't realize that until he matched up with Shara, and he made Shara look actually pretty small when they face off against one another. MVP is just not a bulky dude. He's pretty lanky for the most part. And then when MVP gets on his back, he doesn't get up. That is one thing I will say. He keeps it safe. He makes sure that he's not in any danger, but he doesn't get back up that well. So Jared Cannonier can take the fight down to the ground if necessary. I just think it's going to be hard for him to close that distance. And I think MVP, I think he kind of dances around him all 3 rounds. I mean, I know Jared Cannonier technically got finished against Nasruddin. I don't think that was a good stoppage. I'm going to stick with I want to say knockout, but I'm going to still stick with MVP by decision here. So
Yeah.
I think MVP gets it done. But
So kind of how I feel. Kind of how I feel. Like, like if this was 5 rounds, I'd probably lean more toward MVP via knockout, to be honest.
No, I think I'd still do. I think I still do MVP by decision. I think Jared Cannonier, he gets hit a lot, but he does a good job of recovering, man. Because even in that Kai Bahia fight where people thought the fight should have been stopped in the 5th round, he did a good job at intelligently defending himself and getting back up to his feet. So it's not like he's never out of a fight, and he's never going to quit on himself. He's just not as durable as he once was.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll move on to the next one where we have Jeff Hands of Steel Neal versus Carlos the Nightmare Prates. Probably the fight that I'm second most excited for on this entire card. What about you, D-Rose?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
This is the fight that I'm second most excited for on the card, aside from the main event.
I would say it's definitely up there, top 3 for sure.
Okay, yeah. So this is, as I said, the next one that I'm most excited for outside of the main event, and it's mostly just because I want to see what happens. I could see, dude. Would it surprise you too much to see Jeff Neal knock out Carlos Prates? It wouldn't surprise me too much. Vice versa, I could see Carlos Prates knocking out Jeff Neal, or I could see just being an absolute war all 3 rounds and it going to a split decision where you can't be mad at it either way because us, the fans, won in the fight, dude. I am going to go Carlos Prates to win this fight via 2nd round knockout, I think, D-Rose. Let's go over the measurables, though. We got Hands of Steel Jeff Neal, 16-6 overall out of his last 5 fights. 3 wins, 2 losses, 34 years old, 5'11", 75-inch reach, and works as a waiter on the weekends at a place called Moxie's in Dallas, Texas. Anyway, Carlos Prates, 21-7 overall, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He did lose to Ian Gary in his last fight 3 months ago, but yeah, close fight. 31 years old, 6'1", and a 78-inch reach. And this man smokes cigarettes and then goes out there and has 5-round cardio. How are you not a fan of the guy? Let's go Carlos Prates. Round 2 knockout is my pick. What about you, D-Rose? You're muted, my guy. You're muted, D-Rose. You're muted.
Forgot I did it on my computer this time. But
Yeah.
he Carlos Prates actually said that he smokes like a few hours before the fight too. So just to put that out there, like he's smoking on fight day. Like that's how dedicated
Hell
he
yeah.
is to the craft. I'm with you that I do think this fight
Dude,
can go in a very bold
I
way.
would, dude. Could you imagine the podcast? Me and Carlos Prates smoking Marlboros, dude. Like asking him fucking questions, like
Dude.
smoking cigs with Carlos Prates. That'd be cool. I would go back and smoke a cigarette for Carlos Prates.
And you gotta drink a Modelo too. Is that what he drinks?
Yeah.
Modelo?
I don't know, dude.
So yeah, you gotta drink beer with him too then. But
I don't like beer, but I would.
I do think this fight could go very both ways, but I mean we've seen Jeff Neal also get into a little bit of a kind of tepid point fight, like he did with Ian Gary as well. We've seen him kind of lay eggs against guys like Neil Magny. Then we also seen him get into a war with Shavkat Rakhmonov, but he still ended up on the losing end of that fight as well. Give me Carlos Prates here. I still think that he's still a dangerous guy. I'm actually with you though. I do think 2nd round knockout. We haven't seen Jeff Neal knocked down in the UFC to this point. Super durable dude, but I just think Prates has that death touch, man. And Jeff Neal's been a little bit more hesitant in his last few fights, and I think if he's just going to kind of almost wait for Carlos Prates, That's the worst thing you can do, man, because you're just letting him land them power shots to eventually break you. So give me Protest round 2 KO.
All right, me and D-Rose both on Carlos Protest round 2 knockout. We'll move into the co-main event of the evening. We've got Lerone, the Miracle Murphy, taking on UFC newcomer Aaron Pico. Lerone, the Miracle Murphy, 16-0-1 overall, undefeated. Out of his last 5 fights, obviously 5-0, win over Josh Emmett, win over Dan Ige, win over Edson Barboza, win over Josh Kulabau, and win over Gabriel Santos. He is 34 years old, 5'9", and a 73-inch reach, while Aaron Pico is 13-4 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he has 4 wins, 1 loss. Well, his loss was to Jeremy Kennedy, but he had a shoulder injury there, apparently. And then he went on and fought year and 5 months ago against Henry Corrales, win that fight via ground and pound. Pedro Carvalho, a year and 10 months ago, ground and pound, and did beat James Gonzalez via decision. I don't know who the fuck James Gonzalez is, and he's 10-5 though. Anyway, he is 28 years old, 5'8", and a 71-inch reach. Trains at the legendary Jackson Wink in New Mexico there. D-Rose, before I say anything else, strictly based off of my previous, do you know who I'm picking in this fight?
I have a pretty good idea of who you're leaning towards.
And it's just for one reason. Why?
Because you don't trust Bellator fighters.
I just need to see. I need to see. Because right now, you've fought Bellator and PFL guys. If they were good, they would have been in the UFC, man. I'm not saying Aaron Pico is not good. I hope he is good because he's still young. He's still young enough to be a prospect, if you will. He was highly touted. I remember hearing about him a while ago now, coming into Bellator. Now, did he lose? Yeah. But, fast forward now, it's been like 10 years later, and he's still here, man. I know he has excellent wrestling, solid hands as well, but I need to see him in the UFC. And against an undefeated fighter like Lerone Murphy, we know he's a solid fighter. He's beat plenty of good people. Edson, let me pull up his fucking record right here. Let me go back here. Lerone Murphy's last 5, he beat Edson Barboza, Josh Kulabau. I don't know who the fuck. Oh, that's fucking Gabriel Santos. He's not too good, but beat Josh Emmett, dude. Dan Ige. So we know Lerone Murphy is good, and that is just my point as to why I'm going to pick Lerone Murphy to win this fight via decision. Is that I know he's good. I've seen him against UFC level competition, and I know what I'm working with. As where Aaron Pico, I can see his highlights, I can see him fight, but against who is the question. So for me, it's Lerone Murphy via decision. And hey, man, hopefully Aaron Pico comes out here, wins, and proves me wrong, dude. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at being proved wrong. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, this one's interesting, man. And this is one that I've actually been going back and forth with just due to the fact that, Lerone Murphy is taking this fight on 3 weeks' notice. Now, he did say that, he stays in fight shape for the most part. So he didn't think that the short notice nature was going to come too bad to him. Pretty much just 2 weeks of just kind of hard training. And then, getting the weight down for the weight cut. And he said he's felt great. And I think for Aaron Pico, as you said, great wrestler. He was a young Golden Gloves boxer. He's been doing a lot of like different styles of MMA trainer for a long time. And so yeah, he's very, very well rounded. He's got a little bit of that Cody Garbrandt in him though, so he can get a little bit caught in a brawl. Early on in his career,
I think that's the only way he's like lost, right? Was in a
his
brawl.
first fight he lost by he kind of just aggressively like tackled the dude without really paying attention. He got caught in the guillotine. But then other than that, like most of his other fights that he lost, he just kind of went in there, got punched one time, and was just like, okay, now I'm going to put your lights out. And then he would just literally go in there, and it was just, okay, who's going to land the death bomb first? And he got landed on in a couple of those fights to where it kind of almost wrecked his career. Kind of bounced back to where, he's, gotten himself back on track now. He fights a lot smarter now than what he used to at that point as well. I'll say this. if this fight was not on 3 weeks' notice, I would be picking Lerone Murphy right now.
Okay.
I think the short notice nature is going to hurt him to a certain extent because I do think that Aaron Pico is going to use his wrestling. Am I going to bet this fight? Not a snowball's chance in hell.
What about the over? Over 2.5 minus 215 right now.
I might do something to start round 2, but that's probably like minus 500. So maybe
I'll let you know. To start round 2, D Rose is currently minus 700.
yeah. So not even worth really playing at that point either. Maybe take the 2.5, but I'm not betting a money line on this fight because honestly, I think this fight could go either way. And again, if I think Lerone Murphy had a full camp, I would actually choose Lerone Murphy because I do think Lerone Murphy's that good. But I just think that Aaron Pico, he has fought some good competition before, and I think that he does have an advantage that he can take advantage of with Lerone Murphy, and that is the wrestling. So give me Pico by decision.
All right. So me and Rose split for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th time of the night. Hopefully we can get one more so we can throw off Donchenko versus Sosanato. But we are moving to the main event of the evening. It's time, y'all. If y'all haven't hit that thumbs up button, what are you doing? Are you here for us or not? It's free. All you got to do is just hit that thumbs up. Anyway, main event time. Dricus still knocks Duplessis versus Khamzat Boars Chimaev. Dricus Duplessis is 23-2 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he is 5-0, and he is your middleweight champion of the world. He is 31 years old, 6'1" and a 76-inch reach. Godzilla, on the other hand, Khamzat Boars Chimaev, is undefeated, 14-0. He is 31 years old, 6'2", apparently. According to Dricus, he's 8 foot tall, and he has a 75-inch reach. D-Rose, I wanted to get the clip. I believe it was our first live that we did together. I wanted to get the clip because me and you were talking about Dricus. It was him saying, like, y'all don't know who I am. Y'all can't say my name right, but y'all are going to remember who I am. And that was the first live or the first in-person podcast that me and you did. You were down here in Virginia Beach, and me and you were talking about who is this Dricus guy acting like he's Conor McGregor. Fast forward 4 years, he's the middleweight champion of the world, man. Just like looking back, it's like that's absolutely, crazy to think that me and you were like kind of making fun of him, like, who is this guy? And then now he's the champion of the world. But on this fight, man, I can't pick against Khamzat. He's just beating everyone, man. And I'm just not going to step in front of this train if I'm going to be real. I'm going to go Khamzat, and I'm going to go Khamzat to win this fight via round 1 submission, maybe even round 2 submission. I think he's going to go out there, pick Dricus up, get him down, get on his back, Darce choke, rear naked choke, some kind of choke. But I think Khamzat chokes out Dricus in round number 1 or 2 this weekend. And UFC MMA will be restored. It'll be restored because we won't have to deal with this goofy ass striker anymore. You guys look at this. I'm gonna hit save. I hit save.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, make sure. Yeah, for me, man, I think this is the fight that I've been most excited for on the calendar, just because. And honestly, I think this fight can end in a multitude of ways. Either guy could implement their style and end up getting the other one out of there, or I could see a grueling decision as well. So I would not be surprised here. I can't bet against the more known commodity and DDP, man. I do think
the plot armor.
Yeah, I think the guy that we know the more about is Mr. Looney Tunes himself. Dricus Duplessis. He's we haven't seen him defend takedowns as much. So that is what I'm more curious about. But
Have you seen his offensive takedowns though? Like headbutt to fall. grab and fall backwards.
It's some smooth sequences, man. It's some smooth sequences. But what I'm curious to see for Hamzat, obviously, it's Hamzat by finish early or Dricus by finish late. You know, as long as Dricus can survive the early storms. I know that's the lazy narrative that goes on with the fight, but I do think that is basically kind of how it goes. I think, you know, Hamzat has the first 8 minutes to, I think, get Dricus out of there. I think if he doesn't, I think that's going to give Dricus more confidence. And I heard somebody talk about Dricus the other day, and you know, it's kind of funny. They said no matter how much his body is telling him he's tired, his mind is like, no, I know you're not tired. No, you're not. Go out there and fight. Like, you're not tired. And he just goes out there and he just keeps pushing, and he just ends up outpacing the other guys. So I do think there's a possibility that he does that to Hamzat this weekend. I'm going to go round 4 KO for DDP. I think he has to land a big shot against Hamzat late. Hamzat gasses, and DDP gets him out of there. So let's go DDP round 4 KO.
All right, Antoine saying I have Hamzat first round. So do you think Hamzat retires as the champion if he smokes Dricus? Dude, if he smokes Dricus, do you think he just fucking retires? Because I've heard them talking about how he still wants to go back down to 170 with like to win that belt and then go up to 205 to win that belt. I don't think
I don't think he retires. I mean, he's right at the cusp of making the most money in his life. So if that is something that he's kind of after, you know, at least get 2 more fights in before he decides to hang it up.
Yeah. Odds maybe moving a little bit farther apart, D-Rose. It's currently minus 250 for Hamzat and plus 205 for Rodriguez. I remember it was like minus 190 Hamzat earlier in the week.
Yeah. And that line keeps getting pushed up a little bit more, but boy might be playing some straight action this weekend. We'll see.
All right, before we get out of here, we do have to shout out Hey Joff Picks, and you know, for putting all of fucking Dricus's wrestling highlights together into one for us.
That's so good. DDP's never seen wrestling like this. He's taking down Olympic champions, some of the best wrestlers of all time. Bro, I don't think Hamzat's seen DDP's wrestling before. Look at that cage push. One under,
Are you,
one over.
are you ready for this, D-Rose? Look at this.
Ragdoll Tavares right here. Let's see it, DDP. Wow. He's got the lag drop down. Let's see the inside trip, DDP. Let's see it. Wow. I guarantee you Hamzat's never seen that.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
DDP. Head to the hip.
Oh.
He goes down, grab the leg, takedown secure.
It worked.
Single leg is nasty. Look at that. And the torpedo takedown is deadly. Don't even think about
the torpedo
takedown. That head and arm throw is nasty. Timber! These guys just never see it coming. Darren Till knees him in the face. And I don't even think DDP saw it coming. He just still gets the takedown. But he's been able to figure it out. And that's why he's undefeated in the UFC and the UFC middleweight.
Oh, my goodness, dude. So,
hey, again, effective, and he gets the job done.
Crazy. It's crazy. Man. Let's see. How much of Dricus kickboxing is going to be a factor? I don't know. Apparently, D Rose thinks quite a bit. Not retire. Who beats him? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, agree. Fluffy. Oh. There we go.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Hamzat as well, because you know Habib. I saw where Habib was like, "Hey, you should come out and use your boxing a little bit more early." Like, it kind of sounds dumb when Habib says it, but it actually makes sense because it's like, hey, don't go out there because you know you have the advantage in the wrestling. Don't go out there like heat-seeking missile in the first 15 seconds. Try your best to get the submission and gas yourself out. So I can actually understand why Habib was saying stuff like that. And if Hamzat can fight a little bit more of a measured game, that could be something that he could use to take advantage of with as well. But I think that's where, you know, to the question, I do think that's where Dricus' kickboxing can come into play and really favor Dricus going into the fight.
Yeah, and also Com's out working with Sam Calvito, whichever one it is. That's TJ Dillashaw's EPO guy. So, you know, if we get Hamzat on EPO, I won't be mad at that either. Anton wants to know, how's life been outside of MMA? I've been trying to get my house ready to sell, Antoine. I was up in my attic earlier. Shout out Dave for helping me out. I was up in my attic earlier. My AC, I think, is having some problems, and my fucking realtor was like, "Hey, that shouldn't be leaking. You need to get that fucking checked out." I had no clue anything was wrong because my AC is fucking blowing fine, but apparently there's this little thing that's fucking dripping, and it's the overflow, and it shouldn't be fucking dripping. So I hit up Dave like earlier because Dave, is an HVAC guy. I'm like, "Hey man, what could be the issue and can I fix it?" And he helped me out for like about an hour or so. So shout out Dave for helping me out. So hopefully I fixed it. If not, then I'm gonna have to spend some more money getting my fucking house fixed before I sell it. D-Rose, that bear still around?
We believe so. Has not made the rounds at the house within the last I'm gonna say about a month or so. It was spotted over at the neighbor's house, but not within our camera. So we're in the clear for now.
It's getting close to hibernation season though, so they're probably like out there finding food and shit.
Yeah. I wouldn't, and I was gonna say we got a few more months because it's already August now. Come November, so we're not really gonna be seeing them as much.
Yeah. Looking ahead to 320, how do you guys feel about? I don't even know what is it Ankalaev versus Pereira 2?
I believe so. There's no pay-per-view in September, remember, because the Noche event.
Yeah. Have you guys ever gone hunting? Yeah, I've been hunting a few times. Not really my cup of tea though, Antoine. I know D-Rose has never been hunting.
Not a chance, player. Not a chance.
Yeah, great show. See you later, Tim. Appreciate you stopping by. And have y'all eaten duck or deer? I've eaten way more deer than I've wanted to in my entire life, unfortunately. That was my dad's thing. He was like, "Let me get all these friends that are hunters, and we don't got to buy meat all year." So I've had every kind of deer imaginable. Do I want it now as an adult? Fuck no. There's like two things I won't eat as an adult: ramen noodles and deer meat. Dude, I'm fucking done. I'm not eating that anymore. I've ate enough in my childhood. I'm not eating it anymore. And then duck, I tried at this place where you cooked your own food, and I was not a fan of it. But I don't like seafood either, and it had a little fishy taste to the duck, and I didn't like that. My last time asking, Matt, are you sure you'll wake up for UFC Shanghai? I'll probably get up for the main card. Not going to get up for the prelims. Or if so, I'll be up the whole time, and I'll probably do a live stream or something. Have you ever had squid or frog? I have had squid. It tasted like a rubber band, but once again, I don't like seafood. So I keep trying it. I just don't like it. It's never once have I been like, that's real good. If there's one thing that I could eat probably is maybe crab. I could probably have a crab cake because it's not I don't know. It doesn't really taste like heavy fish, and it's got bread in there, it kind of drowned it out. But yeah, that's about as close as I'm eating to seafood is probably crab. I don't like lobster though either. I think that shit's way overdrawn. You got to work so much for this little piece of meat. Fuck all that. I ain't doing that. But yeah, that's me. How about you, D-Rose? You like seafood?
Never had frog or I feel like I might have maybe tried squid before. No,
fried squid. Probably fried or some shit like that.
Yeah,
it's called calamari. If you ever had that,
I was thinking about calamari.
Octopus. Well, that's squid.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah, I have tried squid then, and it's not bad, but it's not something I'm going to, go out of my way to get. But deer meat, I haven't had it a whole bunch, but the times I've had it, it's been pretty good. So,
dude, Antoine loves fried Alaskan fish, dude. You'd love Long John Silver's. D-Rose used to work at Long John Silver's, dude. That was his spot.
The place that built the boy.
LJS, baby. Yeah.
I'll probably pick up one of my old shirts over here in the corner over here.
Yeah, I will go fishing, Antoine, but around here, the only thing I can catch are stingrays for some reason. I hate that. Trying to
Shoot D-Rose beat. Fair. All right. All right, y'all. Well, D-Rose already yawning a whole bunch. He almost passed out on me a few times on the podcast. I had to fucking full screen us and be like, hey, D-Rose. So you're like, huh? I didn't hear the question. I'm like, that's because you're fucking sleeping over there. But that's gonna be
because I did yawn. I was like,
Captain D's back in 2018. Probably like the same thing, yeah. Sushi is gross.
yeah, Captain D is basically like, yeah, from what I've seen, it's basically the same thing.
Gotcha. All right, y'all. That's gonna be us for that's gonna be all from us here today on the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt D. Rose on that side of the screen. Before you start swinging, D. Rose, change your cheddar Friday. Haven't made the thumbnails yet. So I wanted to. Yep. And then the reason I haven't made the thumbnails is because I was going to put you in full South African attire since you're going for drinks. So I was like, let me see if he's going for it. And I'll put myself with a big old Hamzat beard on there. It'll be a sick thumbnail for Changing Cheddar on Friday. So catch us back here, Changing Cheddar Friday, 10 p.m. East Coast time for our final picks, bets, all that good shit. And then we'll probably do some sort of either live stream after or during the pay-per-view this weekend. But with that being said, we appreciate all of you guys for stopping by here, hanging out with us here tonight. If y'all haven't already, hit that thumbs up button on y'all's way out. And me and D-Rose will catch y'all Friday for Changing Cheddar. Matt, D-Rose on that side of the screen. And we'll catch you guys later. Peace.